All right, Lorenz, welcome back, man. It's a rematch for you. Any difference in preparation after having been in there with him for a little bit?
No, same old same.
And what were your takeaways from that fight? Obviously, an unfortunate ending. Can you just give me your feelings about the way that things went down that night?
I feel sorry for the Tacoma fans. It sucked for them. For the people who came out to support me, and sucks for that. But I'll make up for it, and we'll see this fight.
And I know after that fight, I believe you had kind of posted on social media that you were fairly unhappy with the way that kind of that whole thing played out. Is this fight personal at all at this point, just with the injury that he allegedly had? And
it's not so much personal. I think as a fighter, we're always trying to find that chink, in the armor, So I think for that fight, it gave me a big insight into, what that fighter is. So, I guess that type of stuff drives me, and it's just disappointing. At the end of the day, however you call it, it was a foul. I know it was a foul when I got to see the replay. I acknowledge that. But I'm also a vet, and I've been in this game for a very long time. And I know a fight-ending blow and a blow just to get you to stop reaching for something, and that wasn't a fight-ending blow, so I'll just kind of keep it at that.
And when you went home that night, or when you got back to the negotiating table with Bellator about your next opponent, was there anybody else that you wanted, or did you just automatically want to run this one back?
No, this was brought to me, and I said yes. I'm not the guy who goes out and asking for fights. They always present me with the fights, and I always say yes. So it's like, that's just always how it's been.
And even though the ending was unfortunate to that last one, it's nice to see you kind of competing more frequently and more consistently now. How big has that been for you in just your training and preparation to be able to fight 3 times in, I believe, 10 months or so?
Yeah, that's my goal is, man, if I can get 3 fights a year is perfect for me. And to me, I'm the most dangerous when I'm active, So as long as you keep me active and keep me with dates in mind, that's how I look at it, I'm already looking at my next date, and, we're going to go from there.
Lorenz, I know you said you don't pick fights, but was there any part of you that
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? I know you said you don't pick fights, but I was kind of honestly surprised you took this fight again. So was there any part of you that was like, don't give me that name?
Well, my thing is like I've been saying, this is before the tragic incident happened last fight. I was like, this is a guy who not too many guys want to fight. You know what I mean? Like, people can say what they want to say. At the end of the day, if you're a ranked guy, you don't want to fight this guy. You don't want to fight this 13, whatever he's 13-0 or whatever he is. But you don't want to risk it. Let's keep it real. These guys don't want to risk the fight. I would, if a guy's number 5 or number 4 or number 6. Why risk it on somebody who's not even in the rankings? Which the rankings are stupid and they suck. But why risk it? You would rather risk it against the guy who's number 8 or number 4. So these are the guys the guys that nobody wants to fight, and I always welcome that shit. So that's what drives me in this game, in this diluted ass game we're in right now. So these are the things that get me excited.
Why do you think that is? Because it's funny that you identify it, right? Like, you're not shying away from it. You're like, dude, this is some undefeated guy that nobody wants to fight because he doesn't have a name. You're saying, I welcome that. Throw that to me. Why do you think you're built different than everybody else?
I I got into fighting, man, because I liked the feeling I got from fighting before I was doing it as a sport, right? So it wasn't for media and social media and all that shit, you know, or fucking YouTubers and all this. I got it because I liked the feeling of how I felt in the fight and after the fight. So, and what am I doing it for? You know what I mean? Like, why am I even fighting if I'm not fighting the best guys? You know, so it's just like, what's the point of me waking up in the fucking morning, training my ass off, dieting, eating bullshit to fight scrubs? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? This is what I love to do, and I love to do it because the feeling I get from it. It's not for all the other shit that, you know, comes with it. So, I don't know, man. I'm just that old, cut from that old cloth, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Respect for that. I'll ask you, have you let yourself think at all, what happens if I do accidentally foul him in here? Like, what's this dude going to do? Is that going to be a mental challenge at all for you to be like, I can't foul this dude or we're going to see a replay?
That motherfucker puts his head right back where it was. I'm going right back to it. But I just look at the ref and make sure that I got an arc on it. So that's like, you know, when you see somebody hit somebody in the nuts, like an inside leg kick, and then they're scared to do it, but then you see those guys that go right back to it. That's
going right back to
yeah. You put your head right there. I'm gonna arc it better this time.
Love it. Last thing for me, you said you already got the next stage circled. Obviously, you pick up a big win here. What is the plan next?
Temecula. Why wouldn't they have me on a Temecula card? I don't understand. I like every time I fought there, it's been crazy. So I don't understand why I wouldn't be on the Temecula card.
Right here. So coming out of Riverside, how does it feel to fight, you know, close to home?
It feels good, man. It feels a little weird because I've been staying at home for the past couple days. You know, usually I'm in fight week. I'm just stayed. I stay at the not the casino, the hotel. You know, and going through all that motion. But it's been a little crazy, but then on the other side of it, it feels good, you know, because fighters, like, you know, fight week is always tense as shit. You know, you're trying to look fucking like as normal as you can. Even if you feel a little tired, you don't want to show you're tired because you got fucking camps looking, and when you're hitting mitts, you're looking over your shoulder, and it makes, you know, this is the shit that, to me, fighters go through as far as what I go through, you know. So any move that I'm making on fight week, it's always like my head's on a swivel. But, you know, being at home, being in my gym, training, not having to be here, it's just kind of refreshing, you know.
So how does being at home affect your training camp?
My training camp?
Yeah, like how do you train differently, you know, being at home versus, you know, having camps, you know, on the road, you know, farther fights?
Oh, no, I've never had camps on the road. I'm just saying as far as fight week.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, being able to go back home during fight week, which, you know, I've never experienced that before, you know, being able to.
So with this fight, you know, debuting on CBS, how do you feel about the platform that Bellator is, you know, putting forth?
It's good. You know, I'm on YouTube. I don't know if you heard, but.
Right here, Lorenz. So with a win here, you'll be on an 8-fight win streak. Great momentum here going in early 2023. What's your perfect 2023? And
7-fight.
What's that?
7-fight.
7-fight. This win would be the 8th. No?
I think it's the 7th. It would have been the last fight, but it was, you know,
True. Yeah, complications there, but. Regardless, you know, great momentum coming into this fight. You've had some great performances in your last fights. Again, what is your perfect 2023 and for this year to really go perfectly for you? What do you expect and where do you want to be, you know, towards the end of the year?
Um, for me, it's like 3 fights, man. We're already here in February. I get this fight, get another fight, get one more fight. That's good. It's good for me. You know, at the end of the day, man, I don't talk. I just fucking lower my head, strap on my boots, and just go to work. You know, I don't need to talk about anything, you know what I mean? So I just keep piling them up. And we're at, no. Yeah, 7. No. Yeah, 7-0. Sorry, 7-0. I don't know. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't even fucking know the streak, but I just know I just been piling them up.
Lorenz right here. Is this Lorenz Larkin or is this the alter ego?
Nah, this is Lorenz Larkin.
All right.
You talking about boss hog. You'll know when you get boss hog.
Got it. With that being said, no boss hog here. So, I mean, riding a 6-0 fight win streak, fought on the biggest promotions that they already had, fought on cards already with the legends. I feel like your fighting style kind of caters to the crowd here, being that we're going to see one of the deadliest strikers in Fedor. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you're pretty accurate, my man. No, you know that I think that's always been my style and what's kind of got me to the point where, you know, fight fans like to see me fight. You know, I just go in there and not scared to try some, and just, I guess just my style in general is just pretty flashy and people like to watch it. So, you know, it's good. It's always great to, you know, share the same cage as, you know, these guys, and these guys who really put in a lot of work for the sport, you know, over the years, and, you know, it just kind of remind you, you know, of the hard work you put in to be in this type of situation. So, you know, I'm always, you know, grateful for things like that, and, you know, see these type of fights and be a part of these type of cards. So, you know, it's good.
And last one for me. You said you were adamant on this after your last fight. You kept saying he had nothing for me. He had nothing for me. When he was on top of me, trust me, he had nothing for me. What are you going to do in this fight to exploit that?
My plan is the same thing I was going to do last fight. You know, it just didn't get there. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, all I can do is hope that he's had the best camp that he's had, you know, and comes in there 100%. And only time will tell.
What's up, Lorenz?
Lorenz.
You got it. You got it.
Over here. Just want to get back to your preparation a little bit. You know, being from Riverside and being so close to home, having CBS be the broadcast for this. Did it feel different in the gym?
And YouTube.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So, was there any extra energy in the gym among your training partners that they're going to be close to the experience this time too?
Any different experience?
Well, like just the energy in the gym. Did it feel like your training partners brought a little extra, or there was some extra buzz or excitement around the fight?
No, man. Camp is camp. You know, if I'm fighting in the backyard to Madison Square Garden, you know, camp is camp. I'm always pushing myself. My training partners are always pushing me, because if they're not, I get in their ass and make them push, you know. So it's like there's no difference, you know. CBS is a great network, but they don't, you know, that doesn't drive me to push harder, you know. It just embedded in the type of coaching I got and my mentality about everything, you know. So it could have been this or somewhere else, you know. It's going to be the same type of camp and the same type of grind.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, you've been, I want to say, about 14, 15 years deep into your professional career, and you've always been sort of an even-keeled person and you avoided a lot of the foolishness. What is the approach that you've taken that entire time to maintain the stability in your mind throughout something as crazy as mixed martial arts?
You want the honest truth?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, for me, and it's always how I've been, after I fight, I distance myself from MMA completely. I don't want to talk about MMA. I've done it for years now. You know, like when I'm training, but when I'm outside training, I don't want nothing to do with MMA. Nothing to do with the sport. And I guess in a sense, for me, it allows me to miss it. And so, you know what I mean? So it kind of, I'm not the fighter who's like fully indulged in MMA. You know, I'd like to do a lot of other things that bring me away from the sport, so that when I come back, I'm like enthusiastic about it, and I want to. But it's like over the years and years, it's starting to get harder and harder because the bullshit, you know, that this combat sports is becoming, you know. So it's like, but I still got it, you know. So I still got it in me, but it's just, I distance myself and I try not to look at fucking Instagram shorts and all that type of stuff.
Last one for me. That I want to say it's about an hour or so drive from Riverside to here.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Here,
Yeah,
leaving is totally different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, can you just walk us through that? What's that car ride like? I mean, normally you just come down from the hotel room and, you know, meet media folks or do stare downs and whatnot. What's it like, that drive? Are you playing music? What are you listening to? What's going through your brain as you're making that ride down the highway?
Just listening to my corners bicker about bullshit. Yeah, I'll put his ass on blast. My coach Romy today, so he he's talking about how he had to do a complaint because he got into it with the Starbucks because they took too long with the coffee. I was just like, dude, this is some bullshit. So yeah, that's the type of shit I'm dealing with.
We'll take our last question over there from Dylan.
What's up, Lorenz over here? You
How's it
talked
going?
about Coach Romy. I wanted to ask you about Coach Rick McCorkle, how he's influenced you throughout your mixed martial arts career, and especially what it's been like to work with him for this training camp.
Bro, literally, he's the guy who's really, he's like focuses on my strength and conditioning, and he's really turned my, I guess I would say, for fighters. Well, I don't want to say for fighters because I don't want to speak for everybody else. But for me, a lot of the times in the past, when I've been with past promotions or even with past promotions, in the fights, I've always been cautious of my tank, you know, and don't go too hard, or, you know, and you're just always worrying about your gas tank, you know what I mean? You don't want to exert and da-da-da-da-da. So working with him has got my mind frame, you know, and this has been past couple years now. It doesn't matter how the fucking fight goes, you know what I mean? How I look at fights now is totally different how I look at fights back then, you know? It's I look at it like, if this guy comes out and does this, it doesn't matter. I can go balls to the wall 15 minutes. Doesn't matter. If you want to coast it, I can coast it. But if you turn it up, I can turn it up, and I won't stop, you know? So he's gave me a whole different just outlook and confidence in my strength and conditioning to where it's at now, you know? So he's done a lot.